All right, we are beginning. So, the first problem says, on the math portion of the SAT, the scores are normally distributed with mean 500 and standard deviation 100. Part A says, what percent of all students score less than 350 on the math section? So when I'm doing this, my first thought is that I'm thinking I need to standardize that score. Does anyone have their notes from yesterday, or just remember from yesterday what we're going to write down if they tell us it's a normal model?
Y equals, no wait, yeah.
I want the parameters first. Do you remember the parameters for the normal model? Not the U thingy, the mu thingy.
U sigma.
And sigma. Very good, Lexi. Now, do you remember before we get too excited, do you remember what each of these mean?
Mu.
That's the name of it, mu. Mu means mean.
And standard deviation.
And standard deviation. Very good. So what is the model? You should be writing this down. What is the model for this SAT distribution with these scores? What's the model? What's the mean?
350.
Nope, that's the score we're looking at. What's the mean? It's on your paper.
500.
500. Thank you, Pablo. Very good. It should be just above part A. Very good, Pablo. You're working hard, right? You're changing your brain by working hard. Now, once we do this, once we write this down, then I would like to standardize my score of 350 for part A. So it says Z equals, do you remember the formula? What? Not parentheses, Y minus, not Y bar, because what are we using? A model, not real data. This is a model. So it's mu. It would be Y bar if this was real data. This isn't real data. It's saying it's a model.
We're saying that everything is real.
Yes, but even when it's real in this class, it'll still be considered real, even though, yes, it is fake. Talking about models are wrong. That's a little different. No, B. All right, so divided by, not S, sigma. Because remember, this is a model. This is a model. Okay, there. Yep, gotcha. I agree, bro. So we have a model. And we're trying to standardize 350. There's no Y bar because we're using mu.
What is the N for?
The mu the N, capital N, means it's a normal model. Yes.
Mu 350?
The mu is not 350. The mu is 500.
Why is it a normal?
They told us in the paper that it's following a normally distributed. That's a normal model.
But why do you have a model? Why are you using the other ones if it's a normal one?
We only have one model, the normal model. And I'm using mu and sigma because it's for a normal model. Yeah, the Y bar is the same as mu, but Y bar would be if this was really somebody got a 350. We're saying what percent do we expect to score below 350? Exactly. Thank you, Julissa. If it said somebody actually got 350, like you scored 350, then we're using real. Very good. Thank you, Julissa. I appreciate you. All right. So our Y is going to be 350 minus our mu of 500 divided by 100. So what is our Z score?
Well, first, which one do you do? 450 divided by 1, 450?
350 divided by 500, or minus 500 is not 450.
Oh, 250.
Nope, it's not 250.
Negative.
Okay, and what's the negative 150 divided by 100? Nope. Nope. Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we have an Excel calculator. So watch what I'm going to do. Everyone should be looking now at Excel. Everyone should be looking at Excel. All right? So in Excel, I am in cell B5. Cell B5. You should all be looking at cell B5, clicking in it. I'm going to hit equals because I'm going to do some math. Everyone should have just clicked equals in cell B5. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is the numerator. What is in the numerator in our work? 350 minus 500. I want to put that in parentheses because I wanted to do that first. So 350 minus 500. Notice I put that in parentheses. And Destiny already knows what we're about to do. We're going to hit slash, which is next, or it's the same button as the question mark, because you're dividing that by 100. And this will give you the z-score that we were having trouble with. I think somebody did say negative 1.5. That is the z-score. Now, at this point, you're seated across or next to somebody. This will be the time to look and make sure that they have the same thing you do, negative 1.5. If you don't have one next to you, it's like lean over and make sure you got the same thing. Thank you, Destiny. Lean over, Caesar. Lean over, Caesar. Excellent. Thank you. Tyree, did you lean? Tyree, don't. You got to lean. I meant you, not the computer, but I guess we'll take it. Nope. Don't lean back, Giuseppe. I don't want you falling. All right, so are we good so far? Now, this problem says for part A. Remember I talked about the food yesterday, right? Food yesterday. Talked about the food, right? If it's a distraction, I don't want it. Great. We're not done. It says what percent of the students taking the SAT do we expect to score less than 350? So if I draw the curve for a normal model, if I draw our normal bell curve, man, that's pretty good. Not going to get better than that. Nice work, me. All right. Where is negative 1.5? To the left. Here is, every time, right? Here is 0. That is the middle. And I'm going to just approximate at negative 1.5. Does everyone see that? Negative 1.5. You should be putting this on your paper.
Is this 69, 95, 99?
So Pablo's brain is thinking about yesterday with the notes, the 68, 95, 99.7. That is the generic idea for these percentages under the curve. We want the specific percent, exactly the percent. All right, but it is related. Now, I'm going to shade, because it says not just exactly 350, it says less than 350. So what direction am I shading?
Yeah.
To the left. Next to part A, yes, or in part A, a small curve. So you should have shaded to the left. Now the calculator, and by calculator I mean Excel's calculator, can find that percent for you exactly. You ready? Yes, Pablo. Smartest calculator. It always depends on the user. All right, so here we go. Equals. I'm at cell E5 equals. You ready for this? I do all caps. N-O-R-M. So that's norm for normal model. Period. S. Period. D-I-S-T. What this is saying to the Excel computer is that this is the normal distribution, and the S means that it's standard. We've already standardized. How did we standardize? We found a z-score. All right, and what was our z-score? Negative 1.5. So open a parenthesis. This is why I love Excel, Pablo, because it says, hey, guy using this, here's what you need to put in. What is our z-score? Negative 1.5, comma. You see where it says cumulative? You're going to write capital true and then close it. Capital T-R-U-E. Close it, hit enter, and time to lean. Time to lean. Make sure you have the same thing as the people at your table. Now would be the time to check. 10 seconds. Check them. Check them. Giuseppe, too excited over there. Check it. Danny, you good?
She got 0.07 and I got 0.06. I got 0.06.
So I'm not worried. It's just the way that your calculated Excel workbook is chopping it, like rounding it. So I'm not worried about it as long as you have something like that, 0.067, 0.0668. That's just how it's rounded. Yes. Cool. Yours rounded. You went further, right? Stop showing off, Pablo. So, what's the answer for part A? What percent of all students score less than 350 on the math section? 6.7%. 6.7%. I moved the decimal over. 6.7%. I love seeing students write down the answer. 6. Hurry, because you're going to miss it. Hurry. Yes, student. A chart? I don't know. Go back and download the original from the email, my friend. Download the original from the email. You got a lot going on there, man. All right, let's move to part B. Part B. What percent of all students score between 450 and 550 on the math section? What do you think I'm going to do first? What word am I looking for, Alyssa?
Take the normal one.
No, we already know it's normal. All these are normal, Lexi.
What word?
Yeah, what word am I looking for? When you're talking about subtracting, you're doing all the math. What word am I looking for?
Oh, just kidding.
What do we call it when we find z-scores? What is that called? It's called standardizing. Standardize. Okay? So I'm going to find a z-score for 450 and a z-score for 550. Using the same model that's up at the front. Z equals, what's going to go first? 450. Very good. 450. You should be writing this down. Minus 500 divided by 100. We'll get the actual number with Excel. What about for 550? Divided by Shiloh? Divided by Shiloh. That's funny. Divided by 100. Now, do you guys see how that work is no different? That work is no different than what we did with part A. But now we have 2 instead of 1 z-score. So let's use Excel to find the actual z-scores. All right, the first one for 450 equals, I'm in cell B10. You should be in cell B10 right now, B10. Your hands should be on the keyboard. Your hands should be on the keyboard. Cell B10 equals, open a parenthesis. What goes first? 450 minus 500. Close it. Divided by 100. And hit enter. Don't check yet. Don't do the lean yet. We're going to do the other one. I got negative 0.5. Let's do the other one. This is for 550 equals, parentheses, 550 minus 500, close it, divided by 100. Do the lean. Make sure you guys have the same stuff. Check your table right now. Make sure you guys both have negative 0.5 and 0.5 right now. Be checking it right now. I just typed in that right there, but using parentheses for the numerator. Did you check, Pablo? Viviana, you got it? Okay. Remember, that's the mean from our model. You're going to use 500 every question that it talks about this normal model. So they're telling us that we can expect this distribution to be normally distributed with a mean of 500, standard deviation of 100. Remember, each section on the SAT is out of 800. All right. It got all wet? Okay, sure. There should be one near Miss Nixon. Miss Nixon made it onto the video. Woo! Shout out. No? No one else? I'm all excited. Okay. There you go, Mister. There we go. All right. The percentage. All right. Similar to what we did before, I would like to do some shading. I know, Pablo. I would like to do some shading. I'm going to draw a curve. You should draw this curve as well. Here is 0. Where are our z-scores?
We got right and left.
Right and left. We had negative, what? And then we had positive. Very good. And it wants to find out the percentage of scores that are going to be between them. So how am I going to shade if I want to find the percentage of scores between those values? Very good. I'm going to color in between. So I'm going to shade in between. Now, Pablo, remember you asked that question, what's the best calculator? I love Excel, but Excel is limited. It is limited. Excel can only find the area to the left of a z-score. Sorry about that. Excel can only find the area to the left. So we're going to have a little fun here. See if your brain can keep up. Ready? That's all I can do. I haven't even done anything yet, Pablo. All right, here we go. Equals. Remember what we typed in above? All caps, norm, N-O-R-M. Name my next kid Norm. Dot. S. Dot. And then, go back to good. D-I-S-T. Open a parenthesis. What's the z-score for 450? Negative 0.5, right? Negative 0.5. You're good. You read it, but you said it. It's all good. Comma. True. Comma. True. I know. I wish we could just Destiny. I wish we could do that with Excel. It can't actually do that yet, so we have to use. We got to manipulate it a little bit. So we're going to do just negative 0.5. So hit enter. Now this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. That percentage. Everyone, look up here. Look up here. I want to see eyes. That percentage of 31% is actually to the left of negative 0.5. So this area here is 31%. But do I want that area? No, that's not shaded. So let's do the other one. Do the other one for 0.5. So I'm at cell E12 equals capital N-O-R-M dot
What if it just be the opposite?
S. Well, let's see what happens. D-I-S-T. Open it. What's up, Pablo? Okay. What's the z-score for 550? 0.5, comma, true, and then hit enter. No, it should be a percentage, right? Between 0 and 1. Now, it should not be the same. It should be 69%. But again, that is to the left of 0.5, so that includes the shaded area, but also includes the rest of it that's not shaded. So now here's where my brain has a lot of trouble. So I want you to look up here. Your brain might have some trouble with this too. Look up here. Look up here. I want to see eyes. 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 Diana. Diana. Thanks. Well, I'm here. My eyes are not there. Okay. So let's just, again, we'll show you what we have. We have 31% here. Does everyone see that? We have 69% here. We can subtract. And we'll get the middle. My bad, Alyssa. And we'll get the middle. Okay? Let's do it again. Ready? Watch it. 31% here. So from here to there. 69% all the way to the left. So if we subtract 69 minus this percentage, we'll be left with the shaded area.
Why is 69 shaded area?
Say it again.
Why is 69?
So the Excel can only find everything to the left. The whole thing. Unfortunately, Excel cannot use like a lower and upper bound. It can only find everything to the left. Okay? So we're going to write down. I'm going to go to cell G10. Ready for this? Diana, come on. Hands on the keyboard. Hands on the keyboard, Diana. There you go. That's one. No, nope. That's the mouse tracker pad. You can do it on the keyboard. Equals. Now watch what I'm going to do here. This is in cell G10. Equals. I'm going to subtract 69%, but I'm going to click it, right? I'm not going to type in the numbers. I'm going to click cell E12 minus cell E10 and hit enter. So how are we answering part B? What percent of our students do we expect to get between 450 and 50 on the math section of the SAT? 38.3%. Write it down. Write it down. Check it. I saw Alyssa do the lean. Good job, Alyssa. Check somebody near you. Make sure they have the same thing. In cell G10. Check it right now. G10. 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 All right, and we move on. Part C. What percent of all students score higher than 720 on the math section? I'm going to go a little faster because we've been doing this now for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go faster. I'm not going to write down the formula. I'm going to write equals in cell B17. I'm moving faster. Equals, thank you. Equals, parenthesis, 720 minus 500. Thank you, Gilberto. Close. I love that you're so thorough, Gilberto. Divided by 100. I'm going to leave that up there, Destiny and Lexi. We're in cell B17. We've decided to just not write down the work. We're going to just put it into Excel. Save us some time. Enter. This is the time to lean. Time to lean. Time to lean. Time to lean. 2.2. If you have something that's different, it's because it's just rounding difference. You got 2.2. All right, let's see if your brain can do this one. Let's see if your brain can do this one. Now it says we have a normal model. You know what? You'll figure it out. What's the Z-score for 720? 2.2. That's way out here, guys. Way out there. And it says, what's the probability? What's the percent? You good, Kiara? What's the percent that they score higher than that? What way am I shading for higher than 720? To the right. But guys, Excel can only do what? To the left. So we're going to do to the left. We're going to do to the left, and then we're going to do 1 minus that. All right, subtract it. So let's do it. All right, here we go. This is cell E17. Equals NORM. We're in cell E17. Dot S dot DIST. Open it. What's our Z-score? 2.2. Comma. True. Now I'm going to hit enter. Will this be my answer? No, it's not. So don't write down this answer yet. That percentage of 98.6% is the percentage that's below 720. But we want above, higher than 720. Yeah. Did you put equals first? Always when you have name or anything like that. Equals. I'll come in a second. So I'm going to go to cell G17 equals 1 minus, and I'm going to click on E17. And that will give us our percent. So what's the percentage of students that we expect to get higher than 720? 1.4%. 1.4%. Very low. 1.4%. 1 minus the percentage. 1 minus that percentage. 1 minus the percentage. 1. Oh, you have a period after the DIST. All right. Diana, you still with us? Come on, Diana.
I had negative 0.0%.
Did you do 1 minus? I don't know what false is. You need to put true. Always put true. Did you guys check, everyone? You didn't do that last step on cell G17. Make sure you're checking your table. When I come by, everyone should have 1.4%. Did you write it down on your paper? Write it down on your paper. All right, we have 2 more, and then you will be released to try some on your own. Keep in mind, all 4 of these tabs will need to be completed before the end of the week and emailed to me for a grade. Here we go. Part D. Describe the score of the worst 10% of all students. The worst 10% of all students. You're going to really like this one, Pablo. Now, you should notice in part D, This problem looks very different than A, B, and C. They're telling us the percent. Now, when we think about the worst 10% of all students, the worst 10%, where is that going to be in my curve? The worst 10%. To the right is positive, right is high. To the left, so I'm going to put something here. Do I know that z-score yet?
No.
I don't. But how much should I shade to the left? 10%. So I'm shading to the left, and in here is 0.1, which is the same as 10%. All right? Now the computer can tell you the z-score associated with area to the left. So I can use a function in Excel to find out the z-score. You ready? Here we go. Let's do it. I'm in cell B22 equals, ready for this? Norm, N-O-R-M, dot S, dot, here we go. It's not D-I-S-T because that's what we've been using. It's a different type of problem. I-N-V, which means inverse. So we're saying, hey, computer, I don't want the percentage. I'm going to give you the percentage. You give me the z-score. All right? Open a parenthesis. See how it says probability? That's the percentage. What am I typing in? 0.1, always as a decimal. 0.1, and then close it. And if you hit enter, it will give you your z-score, which is negative 1.2816. Again, you might have a variation on that, depending on how your cell is rounding. All right? I'm going to write that down. Negative 1.2816. You should be writing that down. Z equals negative 1.2816. Now, that's not the question that's asking me, because we want a math score on the SAT. Can you get a negative 1.2816? No, you cannot. So let's think about this. Do you remember our formula for z-scores?
Y minus Y all.
What are we using? It's a model, right? Y minus mu over sigma. We have z. What is our z-score? Very good. That's the z-score. Do I know what score is associated with that on the SAT math? I don't, so I'm going to leave y alone. Do I have the mean? What is it?
100.
Do I know the standard deviation? Oh my goodness, this looks like an equation where you have one unknown. Can you solve it?
Yes.
You guessed it, algebra.
We have to multiply and then divide that.
We're actually going to move the 100 over by multiplying, and then we're going to add 500. Algebra. You're so sorry with algebra? You're so tired of algebra? Well, I don't want to be the guy that tells you this, but that's not going anywhere in your life. I know, right? I can't believe I'm the only one that's told you that. All right, so do you set an alarm when you get up? No. You don't? You just get up normally? Does your mom set an alarm? Maybe. She probably does, right? So what is she using? Algebra. All right, here we go. She has to leave the house at a certain time, so she's calculating how much time she's going to need to wake up and get ready. Algebra equals. You ready for this? No, we're not. Okay, I'll wait. Okay. I'm in cell E22. Equals. I'm going to click cell B22. I'm going to click it. Because I need to move that 100 over to the other side. How am I doing that? By multiplying Shift 8 by 100. So I just wrote Shift 8 is that asterisk, that star. That's multiply by 100. So that's going to move the 100 over. How do I move the minus 500 over? Plus minus 500, the inverse of minus?
No.
Yeah, thank you. Plus 500. Now, if you're worried, you can use parentheses, but PEMDAS, Excel uses PEMDAS, the order of operations, so it's going to multiply first before it adds. But if you're worried, you're more than welcome to put in parentheses around the B22 and the 100, if you're worried, but it's going to do it that way anyway. Okay? So, what are we saying is the answer to part D? What score are we focusing on for the worst 10% of students? Now, can you get a 371.84 on the SAT? I don't even think you can get a 371 or 372. I'm not sure. But we definitely can't get decimals. So we're going to round it to 372. So the answer for part D is any student that gets 372 or below is in our worst 10% of scores. Okay? So that's what we're writing for part D. If you get a 372 or below, you are in the worst 10% of scores. Make sure you're looking at people next to you, across from you, and they're writing it down. Thank you, Jimena. Wake her up. Wake her up. Come on, Nana. You're awake. No, you're not. You smile, but your eyes stay closed. Sit up. Back on your chair. You can do it. Let's go. Come on. Almost there. Eyes up. All right. We ready for one more? No, we're not ready. What's wrong, Charlotte? So you have a legitimate reason? Okay. Part E. Now, this one is a little tricky. It says the top 1%. Where is that going to be? In the positive, the right side. So somewhere here is my z-score. And which way do I shade for the top 1%? To the right. Guys, what is the only direction that Excel can calculate? To the left. So if we have 1% to the right of our z-score, if this is 1% right here, so 0.01, how much is to the left of that z-score?
99.
Very good, 99%. So what am I going to type in? Not 99. Remember, you just told me 99%. Excel can only do decimals. Very good, 0.99. So here we go. I'm in cell B27, the very bottom. B27 equals capital NORM dot S dot INV for inverse. Open it up. What am I typing in for the probability? 0.99. That should give us a very positive z-score, and it gives us 2.3263 or something like that. Time to check. I love it, Viviana. She's checking. No, you're not. You're just leaning on your arm, weren't you? Sad. Oh, you were checking. Okay, all right, cool. You had me there. I thought you were doing it. Now, do you guys see the formula above Pablo's head? Everyone look and see the formula above Pablo's head. Pablo's over there. See the formula up there above Pablo's head that says negative 1.2816 equals y minus 500 over 100? That one? We're going to do the same thing, but what's our z-score for this problem?
2.32.
Great. So I'm going to write in cell E27 equals. I'm going to click cell B27, that z-score, times, that shift 8 gives you times. What am I multiplying it by? 100 plus 500. And we hit enter. That will give us the score that you must reach to be in the top 1%. So let's see. It's going to be pretty high, right? Let's see. 733. That's pretty high. So if you get a 733 or above on the math SAT, then you are in the top 1% of all student scores. So that's part E.
Repeat that.
Sure. If you get a 733 or above, you're in the top 1% of all scores.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Top 1%. All right.